Ladies and gentlemen and friends beyond the binary, I am Amanda Bonanza. Welcome to Medioker Poker. We are in a hand. We're playing Microstakes, 2 cent, 5 cent PLO. We are going to be in not this hand, but the next hand following that. What we're going to do right now is you're going to range these players. We're going to see they folded, they've got nothing. They folded, they've got nothing. This person limped. That means they do not have their best hand. So they have like mid-shelf or bad hands, probably closer to the lower end of the range. Same with the limper and same with the checker. So no one here has any really good cards. We know that going in. We can rule out ace, ace, king, king, suited, double suited aces, double suited Broadway, double suited rundowns, basically anything good. Like none of them have that, but they'll have 4 random cards, which could very much include 6-2 or 6-7. Clubs are easy for them to have. They'll play a single suit of anything a lot of times, like, you know, or 3 to a suit. If they see a suit, like who knows what people are doing when they limp in at the Microstakes. So there it is. There it was. 5-5-4-2. 2 clubs took it down with a great straight there. Great job, seat 5, and they've got a lot of chips too, so that's something to pay attention to. So I can't blame them. They were on the big blind. They limped with a bad hand. I would have done it. I would have played it the same way. So I got nothing bad to say about that. Now we have someone that actually brought in, so they actually can have their best hands. We know they don't have their worst hands. So we can cut out the bottom end of their range. And so this person called. We know they don't have the best because they would have re-raised. So they have mid-shelf. Top shelf, mid-shelf here. Top shelf here, or mid-shelf here, mid-shelf here. I'm not going to call. This hand isn't good enough. People say you should defend the big blind, but it's not. This isn't a good hand. Nothing's going to come up this. I'm just going to lose chips. So I'm just going to get out and chalk it up to a loss. Like the old idea of like of defending your big blind no matter what, and that you get great pot odds because the more people are in the hand. It's just wrong. Like the more people in the hand, you're playing bad cards out of position. Like what happens with those is you get what's called reverse implied odds, meaning that like you lose a lot of money because you'll hit something that's kind of good and you'll feel like the need to stay in the hand, and then you'll get beaten by something that's actually good, and then you'll just lose a bunch of chips. I've done that a million times. It's just better to just not play bad hands.
Easy, simple advice. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's so weird because it's like I inherently know this. It's such a fundamentally easy principle to understand, and it's so easy to forget while you're in the shit. Like, this is a bad hand. I'm not going to play it, not even to a limp, because I would be playing. Because if people limp, they're going to call. So there's going to be at least 3 other players in this hand. And I'm going to be stuck with a pair of 2s, a 5, and a jack. You know, and yeah, it's double suited. But it's double suited to the jack and to the 5. And so here we are. Look at that. I would have had a whole lot of fucking nothing. And I would have paid extra to have that nothing. Hi, Emily's here, by the way. She's in the background there. She's not talking very much because I'm blibber blabbing.
Yeah, and I didn't get introduced. So there was a point where I needed to say something, and I just figured you'd introduce me when
Emily's here. Emily Kaelin, ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. She's the best. She's my friend. I got her stateside for another couple weeks. I'll make the most of it.
God, I hope it's just not just another couple weeks. Jesus, that sounds bad.
That's true.
I don't like it.
That's real. Yeah, you do. You do like it. You like what's going on. You like where you're going. I mean, there's sadness to it, but it's just life changes. It happens. You're going to a good place and to a good situation in a good place. And quite frankly, I'm jealous.
Yeah. I'm going to an amazing girl. Y'all.
Yeah. Hey, Charlotte, if you're here, we love you.
So some of the folks in chat might not have heard this. So I know you did because I talked at length about it. Oh my God, we would have had the flush. Holy shit. I didn't even notice. I didn't see what we had. I'm not playing this one either.
We haven't played
They
hand
had a
yet, haven't
queen.
we?
We would have lost. They had they had a queen of diamonds. We had jack of
Hmm.
diamonds. They still would have beat us. That's why you don't
Oh
play a
yeah.
hand like that.
Well, yeah,
That's
that's
why a
what I'm
jack
saying.
is
Yeah,
not
we
a
would
good
have, we
card.
would have, we would have hit the flush and lost. But I mean, we wouldn't have made it there because it was Ace King 4. We would have never made it past anyone betting on the flop, so it wouldn't have mattered. It was like I said, it would have just punted. It would have just been punting money. Like
Yeah.
it's just there's just no percentage in playing bad hands because like bad hands make bad hands, and like so when you got four bad cards that don't work together, like it's going to be hard to win money. You win money with good cards. That's just how it works. And it's like it is you watch everyone else play every hand and will limp in and limp in and like, oh, I'll just see a flop. And this is like it's a thing that people that just they're called recreational players. They just want to play cards. They don't really care about winning. They're not thinking. They just want to hit a hand. Whereas I'm trying to actually win money here or win the game, at least. So ace eight. See, this is not good. It's just not good. Like you could a a a less discretionary player would justify that being like, well, it's an ace and it's an ace and a queen and the ace and a queen are good and it's got a suit and that's good and the queen and the ace go together and the queen and the eight go together and the eight and the four kind of go together and the ace and the four kind of go together. So like that's a good enough hand to play, but the reality of it is you've got a bunch of cards that are all spread apart, 4 8 that are low cards are just bad, period. And then you've got the three clubs, so you're blocking your own flush with your own card. It's just don't do it. That's not even the nut flush, which matters, as we
Hmm.
just saw in the last hand where the queen would have beat the jack. And it's like even the queen's sketchy. It's like it's a lot easier to hit flushes when you have four cards. Um, and people do a lot more often, and that's just the thing. It's like it's whenever you add more cards, people see more potential, and so they want to play more hands and they bet more, and that's why Omaha's fun because a lot of money goes in. But like, but like, it's still, yeah, you have four cards, but so does everybody else. Like it's still like roughly the same percentage of hands that you play.
Well, and that's the real key to poker, right? That's the real thing. It's not knowing how to play your cards, it's knowing what other people have and how
Right.
to play against that and
That's
what your
exactly
cards
right.
mean against theirs. That's the key, and that's where it gets a lot deeper and a lot harder
Which
when you've
is
got
why we're practicing ranging today.
there
And
we go.
so that's what we're doing. So we can see when someone limps like this, where they just call the minimum blind, they don't have their best hands. I went over this at the beginning. I think you were here for that. Um, same thing. So even a minimum raise when you're on the button and you've got twice the max buy-in and you minimum raise, that means you don't have the best hands either. So we can rule out all the best hands from everyone at this table because no one's got a really good hand because they would have bet the pot pre. That's how it works. And if they had a really good hand and there's a bet in front of them, then they raise it. It's called a three bet. And so now that player bet there, and that doesn't even tell us anything because they're in position. That could just be a position bet or just a position C bet, which is like what people do. It's the right thing to do. If a dumb board like 974 gets checked around to you, might as well, and you're the last to act, might as well bet. You can probably take it down because you can be pretty confident no one has anything at all. That's a big bet. So they have something. They like that king, or they already had something with 974. Who knows? Who knows what on earth they would have where they're betting pot giant. There should, yeah, see, king nine. Great. Great hand. Two pair. Awesome. They actually did have a good hand. I think they had king, or they had king, queen, 9 9. I don't know. I don't remember. I got a glimpse of it. They had king, queen, nine, uh, one suit. That's a good hand. I'd play that hand also. I would have brought in for more. So they brought in for less than I would have brought in. They should have brought in for more, but they didn't. So we have a free roll here. everyone limped around to us, and so we're on the big blind, and we don't have a terrible hand, but we don't have a good hand, so we're just going to check it and see what happens. And that hits our range pretty all right. All right, 8, 9, 10 jack. Yeah, no, we've got a straight draw, a good solid straight draw here.
7 queen, okay.
Yeah, that's right in our range. What we don't have is the clubs, and we're out of position.
Yeah,
so
I'd say
that's it's worth a call. It's worth a call. We can I'll pay 2.8 big blinds to see if we can hit a straight, and if the club comes, we would have gotten out, but like they probably have. Now it's like chasing a straight with a club draw on the board is probably pretty bad, so we're gonna let that one go. They like their hand. They have probably easily 2 pair. Usually if someone's doing that, they have 2 pair with a flush draw or something like that. So they had
2 pair,
10s and 4s, 2 pair. 2 pair is usually what wins. 2 pair or better. It's very rare to see a showdown win with less than top 2 pair, especially if there's any money in the pot. If anyone's betting, they have at least 2 pair. And so we do have an actual bet here. So seat 2 here has top shelf. They've got their top shelf cards or their premiums, their marginals, not their bad cards. This is a raise that says good cards. So they've got top shelf cards here. This person just called, so they have mid shelf. We're gonna fold, obviously. We're not gonna get in between that mess. That's not a big raise, but it is a 3 bet. It's a min click also. And so there's a 4 bet. That means almost always ace, ace. I can tell you 2 of their cards are ace and ace. I know that. Okay. So ace, ace here. We'll see what seat 3 does. They're smart enough to fold. You are going to call, or you're raising. They're raising. So they might also have ace, ace, or
try to put them all in.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what they're both going all in with. Yeah. Ace, ace, king, king.
Oh,
I think ace, ace is going to win here, actually. Yeah. So, yeah, there you go.
Get him, kid.
This person went hard with king, king, no ace. That's a mistake. Never 3 bet kings without an ace, because that means that the other person could easily have ace, ace. So that's a rule. And they fucked it up. So we're going to make a note of that. And so what that means is they overvalue hands. So what we want to do is we want to call them. Call with value. We're going to fold this. We want to call them with value. And bet large with value. No, not necessarily. Let's watch them more. But definitely we want to call them with value. I haven't determined what kind of player. That was a bit of a fishy play, but it wasn't like egregious, so they don't deserve a fish icon. They're not a VIP. I'm just telling Emily this yesterday. I learned that's a term that I learned in poker terminology. When you call really bad donating players at your table, they're called VIPs, and I think that's absolutely hilarious. Got a VIP here. People think queens are good. They're not. Queens, pocket pairs without anything to go with them are not good in Omaha unless they're aces and kings. Pocket queens aren't going to get you very far. They're just not, especially if they don't have anything to go with them. I mean, you got a suited queen, which isn't great. Plus, it's a suit to the 6, which isn't great because a 6 isn't great. And then a 9, a dangling 9, like it's just... There's nothing there. Like, there's no equity in that hand. And so you look at that. So, like, how could we confidently play that? We have queens. We block a 9. So that, like, any ace beats us. And like I said, like, it takes 2 pair to win a hand. So what are we going to make with our second pair? Like, maybe a 6 will drop, but, like, we're already blocking our own queens. Absolutely not. So let's watch the other players. We know there's nothing here. We know they've got bottom shelf here. Mid-tier at best, but probably garbage. Mostly the bottom end of their range. Any 4 cards, basically. Peanut butter and jelly. That's what they got. Same. Nothing much. Nothing much there. It's a bunch of PBJ here. Yep. Just a limp around, limp fest, limp all the way around, and everyone has garbage. So that range hits garbage. So someone fell ass backwards into 2 pair here. Someone's got diamonds. Like, someone's got an 8 and a 5. Someone's got a jack. Like, there's 4, 8. There's 20 cards out there. Almost half the deck, 2/5 of the deck is out there. And I don't have any. I guess I got a 5, a sweet 5. It actually wouldn't have been the worst hand to be in with this terrible hand, because I have the straight draw, and I also have a pair of 5s, which isn't great, especially with the diamonds. We don't like those diamonds. I hit my straight. So max, I would shove here. Don't want those diamonds to come. Puke out put as many chips in as I can. Hope we get called by someone drawing. That's what I would do if I were in the hand, but no one has anything. Oh, maybe this person has something. They're betting pot, so they're doing it. But that's an easy thing to do, checking around on the button. They could have just like, they could have 2 pairs. They could have 8s and 7s. They could easily have a straight with diamonds. That would be a good thing to bet there. So I'd put them on value almost certainly. I'd find it unlikely that they're betting that with just a pure draw. They've got something. I would want to call this, but I'd be weary, and now I'd be extra wary because they could easily have 8 7s. They could even have 8 7 in their hand, and they had the straight, same straight as this. Ace 3 4 8 in early position under the gun. No, thank you. Or the low jack, whatever you like to call it. And we got nothing here. Not great cards here. So we can rule out aces. We know they don't have ace. So if an ace drops, we know they don't have 3 of them. Stuff like that. Same thing here. None of these players have anything. They're all limpers. So a thing to note for limpers, I've said it before, I'll say it again, is I gotta look here. I'm trying to get to like never mind. I keep clicking on things that are irrelevant. It's the chat. I'm trying to read the chat, but it's hard because I'm bad at clicking stuff. So, oh no, I minimized it. I'm doing all sorts of wrong things. Charlotte says something. Morning, Amanda was jumping into the Nile. Lovely. I don't know what that's a euphemism for in Australia, but like I love it. Yeah, look at that. I hit another straight, but yeah, it's a bad hand. As I was saying, so when we see players limping, like we're seeing at this table, what that does mean, one thing is that if they're gonna limp hands, they're not limping anything good. They're just limping whatever because they just want to see a flop. They're just playing any 4 cards. But when they do bring in, then we know they've got something they do like, and so we can put them on solidly good hands. Like they're not just like bringing in with any. Their bring-in range is tighter than our bring-in range. They're going to have better hands that they pay for because otherwise they would just limp their marginal hands, which is what they're doing. So they really like their cards if they bring in. And so I'm trying to figure out kind of what the best strategy to play with things like this, because like the problem is you're going multi-way, and when you're always going multi-way with limpers. And whenever you're multi-way, you can always get people are going to hit random 2 cards. And so like kind of the best you can do is try and play good high cards. And then when high cards hit, you have to bet a lot with your good hand. So we'll just see. We've seen a lot of folding, a lot of limping. We don't have a good hand, so we'll check it down. We'll take the free ride, and we hit nothing at all. So we're not going to do anything. If they bet, they're going to get it, but I'm not putting money into that pot. I mean, I guess I technically have if a 4 comes, I get a straight, but like now the straight, I don't even have that because now the flush is there. So we'll see what they do. They're going to bet it. I'm going to let them have it. Congratulations on your big blind, your 1 big blind win with your limp. Good job. Nailed it. And once again, just letting that go preemptively. We've got a limp, which is nothing. So the first round of buckets is 3 buckets. Premium hands, marginal hands, junk. When they limp, you can get rid of premium hands, and you can't bring them back. Now that the flop comes, the next buckets are thick value, thin value, draws, and junk. So let's see what everyone has. A check doesn't mean anything in early position. They could have any 4. Probably not thick value. A lot of times these players will donk. And donking means when you weren't the pre-flop raiser, but you're first to act and you bet. That's called donk betting. So this person second to act did bring in for half pot, so they could have premium. They could have draws, which are unlikely. People don't generally bet their draws in these stakes. So they probably have either premium or either thick or thin value. 5 could easily have a draw or thin value. They don't have thick value because they would have raised. So that's what we know here. We've got another bet on the turn. So another C bet, a turn C bet, and that's just going to do it. So there we go. And so that's how you range players, kind of. And then when it gets to the river, you can put them on actual cards. Kind of guess what they could have or not have based on what the actions that they've taken.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're doing, and I'm just going to keep doing that because that's where I'm the weakest, and that's where I need to get better at and pay more attention and remember what people don't have. And so here we are on the button with also a not great hand. We've been folding so much, but like it's just not good. I'm going to let it go. It's just not good enough, especially going multi-way, which it will. I mean, honestly, we'll watch and see what happens. But like, I mean, I want to play it because we haven't played anything. But look at that, like we would have had a pile of nothing. So we saved ourselves 4 big blinds. You know, we'll get cards eventually. We'll get cards. Just that's poker. Is a lot of the game is just sitting back and being patient and waiting for good cards. And some days you get a lot of good cards and you get to play a lot of hands. And some days you don't get any good cards. You don't get to play any good hands. Those are frustrating days when like you can't play at all. You're just like fold. Because then when you do have something, people that saw you fold every hand, they see that you have something and they just fold. And so you don't win anything when you do have a hand. And so you have to start playing marginal hands and then you start losing. It's rough. All right. Queen 7-3-6. Guess what? Is that a good hand or a bad hand, Emily?
That is a bad hand. We
Sure
don't love the
fucking
queen.
is.
We don't. We've got a suited, but then everything else we have. Well, not everything else. But the
No, I know
3 is
everything there is
trash.
bad.
The 7, who cares? A 6-7 for a draw.
I mean, a 6 and a 7 are okay if you've also got an 8 and a 9, and you've got 2 suits. Then a 6 and a 7 are okay, but pretty much other than that, they're pretty much trash.
Well, see now we regret it because we hit our 3s.
Yeah, exactly. We would have had a hot pair of 3s there with no flush draw. And we technically do have we don't even have a straight draw.
No,
we got
nada.
We got a hot pair of 3s. 4th pair, or third pair. It's great stuff. Always a winner in Pot Limit Omaha. You always see third pair showing down great.
Uh-oh.
Two
Uh-oh.
pair,
But
aces and threes with a queen. Hot dog. We're not. I'm not. I wasn't ranging the players. That sucks. I was cracking wise. Shame on me. Well, should we play it, Emily?
nope.
In the hijack, I agree. We should not.
Absolutely. This is somehow worse than the last hand. If that's even possible.
It's equally as bad, but yeah, it's pretty. It's actually, you're right. It is actually worse. We got a limp. We got nothing. Limper. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter and jelly. That's what they got. PB and J. Their peanut butter jelly sandwich showing up to the fucking game. Here's what I got.
Oh, we're just calling it all the way around. Like
Yeah, I
everybody's just
mean
like, well,
that's
let's see the flop. Who cares?
gotta see cards still. You still gotta see cards. Like, yeah. I mean, there's a school of thought that says when everyone's limping like this and playing shitty ranges like this, you should just play every hand in position and then
Uh,
just outplay them close. Which is like, I mean, that's a way to do it. Let's
but
just
everybody
kind of
still
wait a
had good
little bit.
hands. Like look at the results on the right. Like two ace, two jack, two ace, two king.
Oh, those are the showdown hands, though. Those are the
Yeah.
hands that went to showdown.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying bet bigger and push these people that are limping out?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're gonna hit some bullshit here and there, but like you can push them around because like if you're playing bad cards and you're playing every hand, you're gonna have most of your hands are gonna be bad, and you're gonna
Mhm.
miss 2/3 of every flop. So 2/3 of the time we could just if we just played every hand and bet like 2/3 of the time, like we'd be taking down pots. But that's only when it's up against another person. That's not when it's up against five other people. Because someone's gonna hit their bullshit on every hand, and so it's like that's why it's like it's kind of frustrating. You just gotta sit and
Yep.
wait for good
Yep.
cards, and hope you hit your good cards. And so the plus side to it is these players in general, people that play like this in general, they aren't paying any attention to what anyone but themselves are doing. They're not thinking about my play. They're not thinking about what my raises mean, what I'm betting. They're not watching what I'm doing. They're not paying attention. They haven't noticed that I haven't played in every hand. I mean that's not necessarily some maybe some of them have. But like for the most part they're not thinking about it. And so that means when I do bet like they're not going to be like, oh shoot, she's got a hand. They're going to be like, oh, well, I've got a hand too. Well, like my sixes are good here. I want to see. I've got a flush draw. I've got a flush draw to the nine. Let's go. It's like so like you'll be able to get some calls for your value, but like I mean, you really can't. I mean, it's rough. It's just rough in these stakes. That's why I like to get to the higher stakes where people actually play a little. Because really all you can do at these stakes is just sit and wait until you hit cards and then just bet your value. Bet your value and hope someone also catches some garbage with their garbage hand and like calls you down with their trash and you win with a better hand. That's like all you can really do. I guess you'll probably bluff a lot. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we've been here half an hour and we've played two hands and both of them were limps on the big blinds.
Mhm.
And here's a big blind. This is the hand I'm going to defend. So even if it does
Mhm.
get raised, I'm going to defend it. But we
Got a
haven't seen anything get raised like at all.
good rundown, decent flush draw, even though we're blocking it a little bit.
No, it's
But
not a good flush draw, and we are blocking the flush, but it's a rundown. The having
queens.
a suit with a blocking our own suit is better than not having any suit. And we did hit nines and tens and a straight draw, but that's a flush board. It's a monochrome board, and we're out of position.
Is
And
anybody
so the
betting like they
odds
have
that one of
aces or
these
kings?
other four players, one of these 20 cards has two hearts in their hand, it's almost more likely than not that one of them has two hearts in their hand.
Uh-huh.
That could be it. I mean, we're going to call two pair for a weak, for a light bet because we could hit a full house. but we're drawing. This is a drawing hand. Our 2 pair is not a value call, it's a draw call. So we'll see a cheap, we'll see, I mean, we're getting, it's the pot will be, we call this, it'll be 13, so we're spending 3 to get 13, so it's like 4 to 1. So we'll call to see if we can hit our thing. We don't hit anything, so we'll go. We got 9, 10. We'll see if, so they like their cards still, so they're still betting small, so they're out of position. They could easily have they could both have bad flushes. I don't know. We'll still call, and we'll fold it on the river if we don't hit a full house. But if we hit a full house, then we get a reasonable size pot. And we're priced in to get it. And so we did not hit a full house. So we pretty much can't call if they keep betting. The board paired. They might have been betting like 2 pair too. Nope. That's a pot size bet. That is 2 pair with a 6. So that's a full house. It would be my guess. Or it's a really good flush, but I think that's probably a full house. So we're going to let that go. And so is seat 1. And that's number Wang.
That is, in fact, number Wang.
That's number Wang. There it is. 6, 7, 8, 10 on the small blind. I might still play it. I might call this because it is a rundown. And yeah, I'd be playing multi-way out of position, but I'd have a rundown. And rundowns are good, and I do have a suit. I don't want to raise it because they're all just going to call me. I'm just throwing money at the pot. There's no point. It's not a good enough hand to raise. And we hit nothing. But no one else has king ace in their hand. They shouldn't. 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we're out of position. We'll check it down. Maybe we'll get lucky and hit a straight, and it won't be a club or a heart. Don't think I'm going to call it, though. Not chasing garbage. Yeah, good fold. Real good fold. I think I would have called that if it wasn't double suited on the board. Well, we have just been seeing rags, haven't we? That's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you don't see no cards for a long time. There's no cards at all. Fold that junk, even on the button. Can't even play a hand on the button. I'm so sad. Give us some cards, please. Please, dealer, deal us some cards. Oh, what Charlotte's saying such cute things about you in the chat. Ah, and then we hit our straight. Hit our bad straight. It's the nut straight too. But it doesn't have the club draw. There's a pair of kings. That's good enough to play. It's kings rainbow with nothing doing. So it's not great kings, but it's good enough to bring in. These are all just going to call. So we would love to hit a king. That's what we would love. That's about all we could do here. And we do not. So it's very reasonable to think that someone could have an ace. I'm going to go ahead and bet small because it's also, there are still only 2 aces left and they all just called. So we're going to bet about a third of the pot here. I'm going to bet 5 big blinds. And if someone raises us, then we know we have to fold. Someone calls, they might slow play an ace and we'll still keep going because we do have value with our kings. We don't have nothing here.
So a raise means ace, a call means they don't got it.
Well, a call means they might also have an ace and they're just slow playing it. Like these players love to trap. So
Okay.
like, I mean, that could be dangerous, but this is the first value hand we've had. We're gonna bet for value. We
Okay.
have value and we're in position, so we're just gonna keep betting. We're gonna bet larger here. If they call a large bet, I mean, because they could easily have a jack too, or queen 10. Like they could have draws, but now it's a bigger bet, so we'll see what they do. And so we're going to assume that they don't have the ace and we're targeting their worst hands and we win.
Nice.
And so we have to bet our value. We have to bet our value against their peanut butter and jelly and their calls. Like, it's like that's how we have to play like that. Like, if we were playing like serious players, but that's even the thing. It's like even serious players, you have to bet your value when you're in position. And that was thin value that we had, but we had value. It was a value hand. So those were value bets. And that's what we did. And it worked. And so now we're not even, but we're not down anymore. So even just seeing a moderate hand like we did was good. Good for us. We can't play 6-7-7-6-5-2. I mean, honestly, I might at this point play that if it was even single suited. But probably not. Too like low rundowns with a dangling two are pretty bad. And we would add a nice sweet pair of fives with an ace and a jack on the board. Would have been surely good with someone betting. So I put seat 1 on thin value or thick value. They definitely have value. I'm going to put them on thin value because they bet small here. That's thick value. That's a straight. See, there's a straight. And no, thank you. It's double suited, but 4-5-6. I would have played that in late position, but I'm under the gun here, and that's not the best hand to play multi-way out of position. In late position, I would have brought this in, and I would have raised it. I might have called it. Like honestly, I'm gonna probably only be raising like with all these limpers and all the multi-way action. Like every table's gonna be multi-way. Like there's no real point to getting money in the pot unless you've got a strong hand. So I'm really only I'm gonna narrow my raising range to I'm gonna narrow it a little bit. We're gonna keep it a little wide on the button still, the button and the cutoff, but for the most part, like we're gonna be doing a lot of calling here and just seeing flops and seeing what happens because I mean we do want to get money in the pot when we have good hands though. I mean that's just basic shit. I don't think one pair of sixes is good here, and I'm not paying attention to what these two are doing. That's a pair of queens, great. Queens and tens, great hand. It wasn't a great hand, I'm kidding. What do they have? Oh, they had a decent hand. Queen, queen, king, 8 was suited with a suit to the king. Yeah, I'd have played it too. Would have brought it in for sure. Let's get free roll here with our terrible hand. We will get a free flop here, and we got nothing. We got nothing at all. We won't even call a big blind. Emily, I'm loving it. Are you loving it?
It's like McDonald's. I'm loving it. Yep.
This game is a lot like McDonald's.
We've gotten poker compared to interpretive dance and now McDonald's. This is an interesting show. People have a lot of different views about this game.
Oh, I see. Poker is interpretive dance. You just make it up as you go. That you think I'm just making everything up as I go, Charlotte?
This is Amanda the Shyster just making up a bunch of BS to get people to come along and buy her book, which isn't even published yet.
No, my book is out, and my second book, Blooming Love, is available on Amazon.com. blooming
So
love, a
you're
springtime
you just admitted
romance.
that all of this is just a play to get people to buy your
Yeah,
romance books?
no, it's just a bonus. You bring in here. I'll play Ace Jack,
All
six
right,
five.
all
See
right, all
that?
right.
See, I'm getting desperate. I'm on the small blind. I should have folded that, but like, fuck it. I got an ace and a jack here. Like at
Ace and
this
a
point,
jack. We
I
got
can
a small
at
chance for a low
this point,
rundown.
it's
Like,
like,
you know, we'll see.
give me anything. Give me anything that looks halfway decent. Say, I'm lowering my standards, and I immediately regret it. I mean, I have a pair. I have top pair. I'm not gonna see bet this. It's no. There's so much junk that could have hit here. 3 5 ace 3. I mean, we do have top pair. We do have a 5 and an ace. Like, I do have to call. We hit jacks and 2s. We have jacks and 6s. I want to see how they bet. If they bet small, I want to see what they do. They are betting small. I don't want to raise though. We've got value. We've got showdown value here. So we're gonna. We do have a straight. Great. So do I check here and hope they bet, or do I bet? Do I bet? Because I think I think I have the better. I think they have a straight. I'm gonna check, and I'm gonna hope that seat 1 bets because I think they have it. No, god damn it, we should have bet. They don't have anything. Oh, they wouldn't have called. Maybe this person will stab at it, but I do have the nut straight. Well, no, I don't have the nut straight. This was 5-7 beats me, but I am gonna call. 5-7 wins. If they have 5-7, they win. Woo! Got it. What did they have that they stabbed with? Not playing that. Seat 5 had king ace. They had aces and 3s. Or they had ace 2 3 4. They didn't have anything. Ace king 8 3 is what they had. Jesus Christ, these players are awful. That looks good. It's playing up. Honestly, at this point, that's playable. I'm gonna. It's really not. It's really not good. I'm gonna raise. I'm gonna raise. I'm gonna min raise in here, just to beat the get something in the pot. So if I do hit a 10 or like a something, it's got some equity here. This is the best hand I've seen in a minute. Yeah, what were they playing? What did they bet? A 3? 2 4 6 2 3 4 6. They had a 3 and an 8. Ace 2 3 4 6. They literally had a pair of 3s and they were betting. They bet the pot because they were stabbing at it. They had their missed. They took a stab. They stabbed at their missed thing. So they are willing to bluff the river. I got a raise here. So do I call? Kind of. I'm in position. But I won't be in position. I'll be in second position. Is this a good enough hand to go more? I don't think it is. I don't think I should have bet it. I'm gonna lay it down. The dry ace sucks. It's not. It looks good, but it's not.
Okay.
Like, this is one of those hands where it's like, this looks pretty good. And yeah, I would have had a suit and I would have had an ace, but I have kicker trouble. They raised, so they have like their good stuff. They could have ace ace, king king, ace king. Like, that's all in their range, and they're representing it. So they could easily right now have a full house. And we'd be stuck here with aces and kings with a 10 kicker. They don't have it anymore.
Do we have 4 pair?
No.
We got 4 pair, and we can't do anything with it.
Yeah,
That's the thing that sucks
we
about
have
this
aces
game.
and kings with a 10 is what we have. Like, yeah. So what did they have? We don't know. Yeah, so seat five's a
We'll
bit of a
never
fish
know.
there. I don't know. They did make that river move that I was impressed by, but it's kind of impressive. But they did it at the wrong time. Call with value, yeah. So it made the right move. Yeah, they go hard with marginal hands. So like, I'm gonna give them a little fire for they're a little bit aggressive. Um, I don't know. I don't think that I got the showdown. Yeah, seat five folded. Yeah, I wouldn't have felt comfortable in that hand at all. When all that money started going in the pot, like with two kings on the board and an ace, and we had ace. Yeah, we had an ace, but like, I don't think it might have been good enough with these players, honestly. Like, I don't know. I feel like we can get away with like betting thin value here. I think we're seeing a lot of marginal hands putting money in the pot. So ace 2 3 5 isn't great, but it is a wheel, and we do have a suited ace, even though we block our suit, and it is on the big blind. So I'm going to be playing this hand, but I'm not going to be raising it. So if they limp, we're going to free roll. But if they bet, we're also going to call it. See, three has a stack here, so I haven't really noticed them doing much. We're going to call it. We did hit an ace, but that's about it. So that's a marginal hand. That's thin value at best, but we can't fold it. We have to play it. So no one bet it. We now have a diamond draw, and probably we know three doesn't have a 9. They might have an ace, but that's okay because we now have thin value, and they seat three cap their range. So we're gonna go ahead and bet the pot here because we do have top pair, and they called quickly. We didn't hit our flush, but we still do have top pair, but we're out of position. And they snap called. So they could have a 9. They could have a 9. So we're just going to check and see what they do. If they bet pot, we're going to fold it. If they bet, we're going to fold. Because these players, I don't ever see these players bluff the river. Except for seat 5 who just did. But I have to see them do it. So see, that's a half pot bet. And that's like, I want to get you to call. And I think they have us beat. I think they have a 9. And even if they don't have a 9, they have something. They might have an ace with a better kicker than our 5. So we're going to let that go.
Trash kicker.
At least. There we go. This is a hand that I can raise. We don't love the 2, but it does work with the wheel, and we have ace suited ace and a pair of aces. So that's a 3-bet hand. For sure. We'll see how if everyone just calls 3-bets, like, awesome. They did bring in for a min click. So they don't have great cards, but they have cards that they like enough to min click. But I've been min clicking in this hand where everyone calls, so like if they have any sense, they'll see that I really like my hand. But they're just gonna call. So they don't have the best stuff. We have our top tier. We did hit our suit. We still have the top pair. There's not a straight on the board, but there's straight draws and diamond draws. So we're going to bet pot. If they caught 2 stupid pair, then they caught 2 stupid pair. They shouldn't be having 2 pair. They shouldn't have ace 10, 8 10, or 8 5, or 10 5 with. So there's a school of thought that said I maybe could have bet smaller since I had that diamond draw and hope the straight draw didn't come. Just bet it. So maybe I should have bet smaller. I don't know. I don't feel bad. I don't really feel bad. Just bet value. Just bet my value. When I get my value hands, I kind of got to bet them. Okay, they brought in for men, so they have something. Probably not ace ace, but maybe. I'm not going to rule out their top shelf. That's a call, that's a call, that's a call. So we've got mid shelf here and probably not top shelf, but that's bad for their range. It's good for all of their ranges. So there it is. There's the random 2 pair with their peanut butter and jelly. They hit 9-4 and they feel great about it. Maybe they hit 9-4 with diamonds. Oh, good hand. Or not. They have been aggressive in position. So that could have been a bluff. We've seen them bluff. We saw them bluff the river. So we know they're capable of it. So that's good. So like I said, we're going to call them down with thin value. Would have been nice. Would have been nice.
We're still in a good spot. We're holding steady at the 139
No,
big
we're
blinds.
up.
We're up, you know, so that's
This
good.
is how
Yeah.
you do. You just gotta. This is just you gotta just grind it here. And that's what we're doing. We're just grinding.
Well, it's so hard to look at this a hand like this retrospectively because it's just like, fuck, you know, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, you could always flop quads. Like you could flop quads on any hand. Like you know, like so it's like you can't be thinking about it like that. It's you have to think about your hands have EV. Yes, some of the time you're gonna spike whatever, but like the odds are you're
yeah.
not, and the game's a game of playing your odds. Like so, the whole game is odds. So if you're making bad bets, you're gonna get bad. You're gonna get back bad returns on your investment. So it's like that's just that's like if a bad investment will yield bad ROI. Like and that's how you got to look at it. So a good investment will yield good ROI in the long run. And that's how it has to be. And so we're watching, that we're looking at the exploitive plays. So like I said, with everyone limping and playing trash hands, we're seeing a lot of showdowns. No one's really putting a lot of money in the pot, so this is a tight, loose table, or a loose passive table. So really, the right way to play this table is just to bring in a lot and bet a lot. But that's also risky, and like every time I try and implement that strategy, I always get burned. Like I'm not good at it. I'm a more just wait till you have a hand and just outplay him kind of player. Like this hand, we're definitely going to call even if we get raised here, which it's looking like a free roll. We're not raising it. It's not good enough. We did hit a king. That's good. We don't have diamonds. We don't have a straight draw. We're out of position. So we'll
our
check
eights
and we'll see.
aren't good anymore.
Well, no, I mean, it didn't hurt anything. Like we could spike an 8 still. That's a pot size bet, so that could mean a lot of things. But we do have a king, and I mean, we're getting such great pot odds. So if we spike another king, we're good. If we spike an 8, we're good. So we do have to call that. And that's not good at all because that does bring in the straight, and that brings in another flush draw. And all of a sudden they like their hand. So that means it's good for them. So that almost certainly is a straight. So we'll just get out of their way. They've got a draw. And they probably hit their diamonds. I think seat 4's got this. Oh, seat 2 likes it. There it is. Bad diamonds. Bad diamonds. A 6 and a 2 of diamonds. You see what I'm saying here? That's why we have to bet our value. That's why.
Wait, what just happened? The two of them went all in and they pushed?
Everyone went all in, and seat 4 took it with a 6 high diamond flush.
But why are the other people still in it though?
Well, because the seat 4 didn't have as many chips, and so they pushed all their chips in, and everyone just called.
Okay.
And seat 5 rebought back in.
Okay.
Or they might have had more chips too. They're just they had a bigger stack and they lost it. And seat 4 only pushed in, but it was like a huge pot, like with really bad hands all around. Like everyone had trash. It was amazing. So seat 2 they were playing with king 10 5 2 and a suited king. That's a really bad hand. It's not the worst hand, but it's not a good hand. It's certainly not a good hand. So they were playing a king with a 10 kicker. So they did have its beat. they did have a straight draw with the 2, 3, 4, 5. They had that. So and they did hit their straight. So they hit their straight but the ace at the river brought their straight, but they were beat by the flush that player 4 had with King 7, 6, 2 double suited. Yeah, we're gonna actually play this hand. If it limps around to us, we're gonna play it. I'm at the point where like this is looking good, and we're in position. I'm like these players are pretty weak, so. But yeah, they had a really bad hand. They did have a king, and that's all they had. They did have a king with a diamond draw, and they did hit their bad diamonds. But then they went all in, so they're willing to go all in with marginal with a bad flush. So we're just gonna kick that up just a notch there. Just raise it, just a little juice, just to put a little juicer in the pot. We don't have to pot with everyone. They're just all gonna call anyway, so like might as well hedge our bets here. We don't have a great hand, but and we do have a bad straight draw, a bad backdoor flush draw. So we're not gonna call. We don't have anything. Seat 4 is
Bad
sitting out.
backdoor.
Yeah, we're gonna go mark seat 4 as we'll put a lot of money in light. And we're gonna do this. We're gonna do bet pot for max value. So we want to basically when we go into a hand with seat 4 here, we're going to give them a rock as then they're a calling station. They're a station. So we're going to go ahead and mark that. And we're going to, so when we get in a hand and we have a good hand with seat 4, we're not going to play coy with them. We're just going to shove money in the pot and hope they have a piece of it because they're going to call it. They're going to call down light. That's what that means. Calling down light means calling down with marginal hands. What they're really called is bluff catchers. And so, but I don't think these players know that. I just think I've got a pair. I've got 2 pair. 2 pair is good. I like 2 pair. It's like, I think 2 pair can win, and they bet and they'll call it down. So that's what we want from seat 4 there. If they come back. Seat 5, we call light because we've seen them bluff. We've seen them bluff the river more than once. So we know they're capable of it. So they like to shove money in the pot with bad equity, with a piece of it, a bad piece. But like when they see weakness, which isn't the worst way to play, honestly. So I wouldn't say they're a bad player, but they're not like amazing. They're not doing anything impressive. Seat 4 is back. Now we're just up slightly, and so ace, queen, 2, 4. They did have a straight. So, yeah. And they got called down by seat 5 with what? What did seat 5 have? They had a pair of aces. And that's it. No, they didn't even have a pair of aces. A pair of 8s. They called down with a pair of 8s. 8s and 3s. Wow. So they called down light too. So yeah, 5's a fish. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna bring this in. It's out of position, but they're gonna call. But this is like, yeah, at this point, what I'm seeing get the showdown is wild. All right, we have a pair of kings. We're not gonna bet it. It's the ace and the hearts don't feel good, but hearts definitely don't feel good. So we're not gonna bet it. I don't even think we'll call if we get a bet. Snap check. There it is. That's value. Probably a flush. I'm not going to wait around to see. Not drawing. I did have a straight draw, but I'm not drawing to not the nuts. That's a bad policy. I'll call not the nuts, but I'm not calling a king against that board. Weak kings are no good there. All right, we're at the top of the hour, and I need to pee, so I'm going to take a pee, and I'm going to fill up my water and do all that top of the hour stuff while I'm in the bathroom. Hey, everyone, consider going to PLO Mastermind. That is a website you can go, PLO as Pot Limit Omaha, PLOmastermind.com, and sign up for a free account. That's a great site you can go. It's a training site where you can learn how to play Pot Limit Omaha. You can figure out, it'll show you what hands have value and what hands don't, so you can understand like what hands you should get rid of and what hands you shouldn't. It's got all sorts of videos. Jay Nandez is a great Euro. He's a super pro. I watched him play a game yesterday where it was the big blind and the small blind were $5,000, $10,000. And so that's who's running that side. Yeah, the buy-in was $100,000, and he lost it right away, and he just bought right back in, and then he won, and then he like doubled up like right away. So it's like he won his buy-in back, and like 3 hands later, it was something to see. It was he admitted it was the biggest pot. It was the biggest stakes he'd ever played. That's pretty big, though. That's pretty big.
That's wild.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's wild. Yeah. What is it? Wait, was it? Yeah, 5,000, 10,000. Yeah. No, it wasn't that. It was. I'm sorry. It was like 1,000, 2,000, or 5. It was some, maybe. I don't remember. 2,000, 5,000, maybe. It was so much fucking money, but it's still just poker, and it played like poker. Like, and that's the thing, is that's the beauty of it. It's it's the same game. But anyway, Jay Nandez, he's great. Luke Botter is a Dutch guy on that site too, and he's really good. He's not the most entertaining person, but he's a wonderful GTO Dutch robot that just knows. He just thinks like a machine. Like more than a handful of Dutchmen I've met in my life. But like, yeah, he's a good guy. He's a cool dude. They're all cool people over at PLO Mastermind. And if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna get an account, definitely click the link in the description box, because then we get some money. We got a sponsorship deal. So go ahead and click the link and sign up for a free account and check it out. And if you like it, pay a whole lot of money for their in-depth
training.
course. Yeah, for their training course. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's a lot of money, but if you do it and you're serious about it, it will pay off. Like that's the thing, is like, you can, like, people talk about like it's a lot of money to buy a poker course, but like it's like you'll pay a lot of money for college. Like you'll pay a lot of money for education, and like this is something where it literally is the thing where if you're good at it, you will win. Like and so it's like, if you're into it, like, I mean, it does pay off. It's a sound investment, but it is, technically gambling. So people get shy about that, but like it's not gambling any more than it is like buying stocks. It's like it's the same thing. It's just you actually have an advantage, a very strong advantage, if you know what you're doing. So I'm gonna go pee.
Go take care of yourself. Everybody,
Yeah.
hydrate.
All right.
Use
Click the link in
bathroom.
the description box, everyone.
Take your pills if you haven't, which I need to go do.
Like
I
and
should
subscribe.
have prepped myself to take over here for a moment. But I need to get my pills, so I'll be right back. I'm just gonna grab them. I'll bring them right back over here. So it'll just be a second, and yeah. Finally made it to the chat. You were because you were away for the break. I get it, and I'll be back in just two shakes. I don't know. Was that 2 shakes, or was that closer to 3? I love taking my pills with beer. It just seems so like trashy adult to do it that way. I'm an adult, so I can take a pill, take my pills with a beer, but it also makes me pretty trashy. So very fun. Oh, did I? I don't think I checked to see if I got a response about tonight. Let's see. What do we got? There's TikTok. 8 o'clock sounds great. Perfect. We're on there. I'll keep you posted. My E is supposed to come today, but do you take pills or injection? Talking to my daughter. I got some texts from her. Hi, Alexis. What's the hell yeah for? What did I miss? Welcome in. How are your nails looking? I gotta see a picture. Where are we connected? We gotta be connected on Instagram somewhere, right, Alexis? You need to send me a DM. Emily would go there too. Send me a DM and show me your nails.
I want to see Alexis's nails.
Yeah.
I'm not on Instagram. I'm not even on Facebook anymore. I still have a Facebook account, but I've kind of ditched it. I'm on Blue Sky, and that's the only social media I have left. And even Blue
Yeah.
Sky is like, it's just a bunch of fucking political garbage. It's just fucking, it's literal doom scrolling. It sucks. It's like social media blows. Like I'm kind of done with it. Like, it's like I'm not getting it. It's like it's not helping my, and the fact since leaving Facebook, my mental state has been so much better. Like I
Okay.
don't like it's so unhealthy. And every time I do click back to it immediately, I'm like, oh, so it's toxic as fuck. I'm gonna click. We're gonna. I went ahead and I posted my blind. So I like it's like that's fair. I walked away from the table. I'll post the blind again. So we gotta raise. So here's the thing: is we do not have a great hand, and they don't have enough money behind them to justify this call. So they're gonna go all in no matter what. They've got a hand that they like. They're gonna
Excuse
go
me,
all
sir.
in. Now we could call this and hope that we hit something with our Jack 7 10 3, but like we don't have good odds. It's gonna go multi-way. This person's going all in no matter what. Then we just basically be playing against seat 5 here with a marginal hand and like a bunch of money in the pot. And I'd rather not. So we're just gonna let them duke it out. We don't have the cards to justify that call with that much behind. Would have been nice though. 3 10s would have been real good here. Like, yeah, so there we go. Live and learn, right? And it did go super multi-way. And maybe we should have called, in retrospect. I feel like I made the right decision though, not calling this. But they all that, and then they fold away to 4.8 big blinds, which they knew was going in. Like that was the thing. Is like you had to be able to like know that 4.8 big blinds was going in. Like that was gonna go in on the flop no matter what. And they have their 10 with an ace, so we're crushed. We would have been crushed. Great fold, fantastic fold there. Our
Yeah, I love
10,
it.
would we have hit a full house? We would not have hit a full house.
Well,
Just
and that's where it
proud
is, right? Like
fold.
you have these
Mm-hmm.
hands that's the real danger in poker is
That's
having a hand and thinking that it's great, betting huge and just barely getting beat. That's where you lose your whole stack.
That's what's called reverse implied odds. That's a thing. And that's what that is. It's reverse implied odds. And that's those hands like that, where it's like they're marginal, but they have a potential to hit something. But when they do hit something, they have a potential to lose big. And that's why those hands are dangerous, which is why I folded that hand. So even you saw the 10, I was like, I wish I was in this hand. But like hearts were there and they had the other 10 with an ace. And so we were just wrecked. But we probably would have extracted money from 5 and 1. We would have gotten like money from them if they'd have stayed in the hand, which they might not have. Like 5 didn't, So we would have just lost a bunch of
Alexis,
money.
where did you send it? Which account or which program? I'm not finding it in Instagram. Oh, is it under requests? Hold on. It's Alexis. I know your last name now. Wow. The Alexis Project 20. There we go. I got my last name there, but it's fake.
Well, my name Amanda Bonanza is super real. That's a real
Super
fucking
real.
name. Yeah.
Of the Rhode Island Bonanzas, right?
Exactly.
What a well-known
My
family.
dad was the Prince of Nigeria that like needed needed your bank account.
That makes perfect sense. That and that makes sense that the name Bonanza would come from Nigeria. That sounds very like a very
It's a
Nigerian
Nigerian
last
name,
name.
yeah.
Yeah. It's checking out.
So we did meme diver earlier today, and I had this really funny meme that I didn't use
Oh no.
because it just had enough there that could have been construed as racism. I don't think it was racist.
Oh, so they checked trip aces.
Oh,
We're
we don't know
clearly not
that.
going to win this with a jack. Yeah.
Yeah. When the board comes, that means a full house or quads. Like that's the only thing that wins. Yeah, yeah. Anything, yeah. If there's 3 aces on the board, then sometimes a king will win, but
Yeah.
like usually it's someone has a pair in their hand and they had a pair of tens. So
Oh, Alexis, those are gorgeous. I love how they're like, it's sort of abstract, but they're, oh, that's so cute. I'm sending this to Amanda now.
let's see one get all that money.
Right? I don't know.
What did they do?
Amanda,
Where did they come from?
Text or WhatsApp? What do you think?
Either one, I don't care. Let's do WhatsApp. It's a little easier. It's easier to access and all that stuff.
Cool.
Text
Let
is
me get to our
wonky.
direct chat.
Yeah.
Plus?
I'm thinking of getting back on Signal. I was using Signal for a while, but it was blocking my friend's iPhone, and so like I don't know if that works. Like, do you have an iPhone, Emily?
I have it. Yeah, an iPhone. I'm on Signal. I text Katie through
Oh,
there
look
a
at
lot.
that!
So.
Oh, that's so pretty, Alexa. Alexis, that's fucking gorgeous. Oh,
Isn't it
those are
cute?
beautiful.
The
Yeah.
sparkly silver and then
Oh,
the
I
black
love
stuff, but
it.
it's
The
sort
silver
of
and the
but
black. Yeah,
it's
that's
like
great.
asymmetrical, kind of like random. Like, oh, I
Yeah,
just
it's
love
like
it.
it's high art, is what that
It
is.
is high art and it's just
That's
classy as
that's the
fuck.
fucking that's the fucking metropolitan. That's the fucking Met right there.
Oh yeah. She's ready for the Met Gala. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's ready for the LACMA. Yeah, you're good.
Now I'm super freaking jealous. My daughter's nails looked great yesterday because her roommate did them. Yeah, they looked so perfect.
I haven't got my nails done since I went and visited Lilith in Detroit in the summer.
Yeah, there
It's
we
like I
go.
never get my nails done anymore. It's like it's like I can't justify it. It's like I can't justify spending the money. It's like
Yeah.
I don't need to be. I feel okay. Like if I had like steady income, that's a thing I would do. I do what
Yeah.
Lilith did and just get it done every month or so, every couple weeks. Like
Well,
yeah, this is good enough to call.
the thing Jasmine did, and
It's
I
not
love
good, but
this. It's she glued press on nails on Shayna. She uses a nail glue. Oh, she glues it
yeah, I
on
know.
and then does gel polish over the top on a press on a glued on nail. And then apparently all you need to do to get the glued on nails off, you can soak them in acetone, but apparently
Yeah. That's the general thing.
hot water and olive oil will take them off too.
Hey,
And
that's
it's
much
like,
better for your skin than
that
acetone,
sounds
I'll tell you that.
amazing for your nails and skin.
Yeah,
Like,
just
if
in
that's a
general, that just
thing,
sounds like a good idea.
because
Like, have
yeah,
you ever
using the
taken a
gel
bath
polish
with
ruins my
olive oil in
nails.
it?
The glue can, but like if you can get the glue off easy, it's just like, oh shit. Well, this is, yes, I'm gonna look into this. And if this works out, then I'm doing a tutorial on it because it sounds like a great idea. I'm sure there's already a tutorial out there, but I'll do it for y'all, all my favorite friends.
Seat 2 has been fucking 3-bet crazy here. They've been real aggressive since they dropped their stack. And so not everyone's calling. Sucks.
Oh,
I can't call this. So we can't. They've been 3-betting way too much. We can't limp anymore. We can't call light. We have to tighten up.
nice. I like it. I like playing tighter anyways. It's a better idea. And we got some whales in here. The you
Yeah,
know,
we
two
have
fit
whales. Yeah, for
two
sure there's whales in here. Yeah.
250 big blinds. Like
Well,
we're
we've
not
got
big
VIPs
stack
in
by a
here
long
too. They're
shot.
all calling this 3-bets blind. They're limp calling 3-bets like it's fucking bananas. This
I
room,
love this. Alexis
all it
goes
needed
in.
was, yeah, I'm sorry. Go
Oh
on.
yeah, you're talking poker, you're talking show, and I'm talking to
Yeah.
chat. So
Well, I'm
finish
doing
your thought.
both too. It's like that's the thing, is like I wasn't paying attention and now it's like no, I'm seeing 3-bets. And so they 3-bet. Look at, so here's something to pay attention to. They 3-bet to like 15, 16 big blinds, and then they follow it up with 3.8 big blinds in a 59 big blind pot. Fuck them. That
3.8
is,
big blinds. What bet is that? Is that the minimum bet? Is that
it's
like,
the, no, it's not the minimum. It's just a really stupid small bet. Like, so I don't know what they're doing.
oh,
I
now they're
don't,
all
so
in.
they had nothing. They had nothing at all. Yeah, fuck them. They had ace
Ace.
king.
Well, yeah.
Yep, good. Well, they lost. They punted
God,
their
look
whole
at
stack like
three
an
though.
idiot. Now,
344. Fuck.
well, I mean, what did they have that
They
they
pulled down two
called? Like they
people.
didn't play well. They called down a three. They cold called a three
Wow.
bet from the fucking big blind. I mean, what did they have? I didn't even see. Anyway, this is a good hand. I'm betting it. I'm bringing it in for the right amount. Like this is the first like good hand we've seen. I think we've seen a couple aces. They weren't good aces though. We haven't seen good aces. I love it. I love it. I'm happy. I'm happy with this so far.
All right, let's get some collabs.
Yeah, I'm gonna see bet this. I'm gonna half pot it. Just see. We'll probably get one or two callers here. Loved only one to be great. Super, super. We do have a straight draw. We do have the nut flush blocker, but we're out of position. So I'm gonna continue betting. I'm gonna bet 2/3 pot here. I'm
Wow.
just gonna see what happens because we have value here with that king. That
Okay.
king has value, and so we'll see if they raise us. See, that's the
They
problem.
did.
They did raise us, but we do have. What do they have? I mean, they could easily have king jack. They could easily have two pair. They could have a set. They could have a set of jacks here. We're not drawing dead, but we are drawing bad. So I have to let that go.
Oh, all right.
See, fucking out of position sucks. Now all of a sudden these players got fucking aggressive. These limpers got aggressive. They got stacks and they got nuts. So we adjust. We adjust. So now we have to play accordingly. We'll be defending our double suit here. And nothing came of it. For the record, seat 3 had king, queen, queen, jack with 3 hearts. They had a pair of queens with nothing else going for them, and they won that hand. That big giant pot. That's what they won with. They went all the way to the end and bet nasty with a pair of queens. Bet nasty with queen, queen, dry. So we got to call real light. We got to call them real light. Call light, bet max value. Yeah. So now the rule that the table got crazy. It was real loose passive before, and now it's aggressive loose. And so now what we have to do to adjust to that is, like, if we had this Jack 8, we would have pushed. So we have to shove our money in with thin value is what we're going to do here. So we're looking for thin value. We're still going to play good hands. We're going to play loose in position and real tight out of position. So we're out of position, so we're just going to auto fold this. But when we're on the button and on the cutoff, we're going to be playing a little. We're not going to play like stupid loose, but we're going to open up our range, and then we're just, anytime we hit reasonable value, like basically top 2 or better, we're going no matter what the board is. And hopefully we're just going to catch a lot of stuff, and we are going to catch a bad beat here and there. But like, based on when you see 300 big blind pot, and it's a pair of queens with nothing else wins, like, that's fucking insane. Like, that's stupid. Like, that's not okay. Naked queens, like, Jesus. All right, 8 queen 5, not good enough. Not good enough. Not good enough to go light with. Oh, fuck it. Yeah, it is. Fuck them. It's a pair, and it's a suited queen. Yeah, that's bad. It's a bad bet. Especially since people are 3-betting. They could easily 3-bet us and blow us off this hand. It was a bad decision. I should have folded it. Well, we'll see. Maybe I'll spike an 8. No, I do spike a draw. It's a bad flush. I don't have but I do have spades here. So I'm gonna go ahead and bet. I'll just I'll bet the pot there. I won't bet the pot, but like, I'll bet the 8. Raise their single thing. They're gonna go all in. They could have a. I'm calling it. They've got that. They hit. They're straight. That's a bad call. It's bad all around. Shame on me. See, terrible poker. Terrible poker. I got antsy. I got impatient, and I did all sorts of bad moves there. So we just punted our stack. Great. Good job, me. G's and T's, no good. Maybe good, though. No good. No one has anything. No one has spades, that's for sure. They're afraid of those spades. No one has spades. Someone might have a straight here. Nope. Pair of 9's gonna win it. See, that's how naked 9s should win a pot, is no one betting anything, not everyone going all in. Let's see. It's out of position bet. Could easily have a 10. Could easily have hearts. Seat 4 has something. They have, yeah, better than whatever seat 3 had. Thick value is what I would say. All right. Oh, 3 5s. Oh, that's awful.
So bad. So
That's
bad.
fucking terrible. God damn it. I can't even call this. Jesus Christ, what a fucking terrible hand. I should have called it. Here's ace 3 4 5 with a backdoor nut flush draw. I mean, it's preposterous, but like literally second pair. Ah, awful, awful, awful. You hate to see it. I feel real dumb about that punt I just did. It was just such a stupid punt. Like I guess I did have a draw, but I was drawing to not the nuts. I would have beat him if I had hit it, but like
Mm.
uh no. No, no, don't be dumb out of position. I have to tighten up extra because I'm out, especially because now that I'm short stacked, I have to play even tighter. I mean, when we were doing it before, our strategy of waiting for good cards was working, and then as soon as I started playing loose, now we're down to 65 big blinds. So it's like I should just fucking stick to my guns. Like quit, quit fucking around. Like play good cards. Wait for good cards. They'll come. They'll come and they'll call you. They will call down. And I'll see threes just pushing everyone around. They got the stacks, but they're gonna call light too. I promise. We're not gonna be able to bluff seat three. Not if they have anything at all. And they're going to be betting at us a lot. This is definitely a hand to bring in, but I don't have the chips to do that, so I'm just going to go 2.5. Yeah, we'll do 3. Bring in for 3. We get a reasonable bet size. We'll get called for sure by C3. Limp call, limp call. You're not going to fold. Yeah, we top pair. That's about it. Definitely going to bet it though. Half pot. Fold your junk. Raise your good stuff. Call your marginal on your draws. There's your draw. We do have 2 pair. We're going to bet it with thin value. We're going to bet small because the flush is there, so that's the right thing. So we'll bet about a third of the pot. See if they call. If they raise, we fold. And they just give it to us. Thin value, thin value. Value's where it's at. We're not going to get far bluffing and chasing draws here. Just value hands, value hands. Ooh, do I defend this? No, it sucks. 9, 10, jack, queen. I mean, it looks like it's good, but those hearts blow. Those hearts blow. It's a shitty hand. It's just a shitty hand. I'm tempted though. I'm so tempted to defend. I'm tempted to like play the marginal hands, and they just keep biting me in the ass. I mean, I need to learn. I need to learn my lesson here. I spent an hour grinding up to like 135 big blinds, and then I just punted half of it away on a stupid bad draw that didn't hit on a wet ass board that I knew they had a straight. Oh, not the small blind, not the small blind. Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of rags, and so that makes hands like this start to look good because we've been seeing so many bad cards. That's an actual good hand. There's a good hand that we can play. That's a Broadway rundown with a suit to the king. That's great. That's a fantastic. That's a 3-betting hand. That's what we call a 3-bet hand. We're not going to 4-bet it. We will call a 3-bet with this hand. We'll see if that's what 3 is going to do. I don't think anyone's going to 3-bet. They're just going to call. Don't you dare fold the first good hand we've seen. Thank you. Look at that. Oh, we hit a set of kings. We're going to bet them. Like this is like we breathe on the pot, and they might call with hearts, but almost not. So we're gonna just bet real small. I mean,
Okay.
I'm even bet smaller than this. I'm gonna bet, yeah, not three big blinds. I'll bet three big blinds.
Let's say you're not going to min
That's
click
pretty.
it.
I mean, this is that we've got the king. We breathe on this pot and they fold. Like it's like there's nothing you can't
Because
make
it's so
any.
easy for somebody to have a king and have
Yeah,
trips
it's
and
like
just
they
like
don't
yeah.
have they definitely don't have a king, and like it's like okay, well here's another rundown. It's a rainbow, but it's an
That's why I like to like in that case I would check that around and then bet on the next card to make it seem like that card hit for me somehow and hide the fact that I've got kings and play to
problem with
that.
that is if the heart comes, you're fucked.
Oh,
And
that's true.
like
That's right. Yeah, yeah, I remember that. You're trying to get people
yeah,
out so you get their money
and
as soon
like
as possible. I get
it
it.
is this isn't the kind of table to play sneaky. Like this is just play straightforward, bet your value. They're calling light. They're
Okay.
calling
Okay.
real light, so just bet fast, play your good hands. Like there's no like we're not trying to like get super clever here. We're just trying to play good solid poker. Like right now we've got a pair of nines with twos. No one should have twos. We're in position. We're gonna bet it. So we're gonna bet, we're gonna bet 2/3 the pot because it's just we're gonna bet five, just because it's like that's a big, it's a pot size bet, but like it's not, there's nothing in the pot.
Yeah, the
So
still
like
small.
yeah, so it's
And then we
still
just pull it
like
down.
when there's
Okay.
nothing in the pot, like you can't do it in percentage of pots. Like it's like I want to play for money. If I'm gonna bet, I want to make money. Like basically, like I want to get my good hands. I want to get my whole stack in if I can. So I want to boost the pot, and that was thin value. That was good enough to do. This is not good enough.
No.
Under the gun, can't do that. Under the gun, bad hand. Bad hand on the button, quite frankly, bad hand anywhere. Like, that's even a hard hand to defend on the big blind. Probably would, though. I hate being down. I hate being stupid and punting. I hate punting, and I do it all the time. And I need to learn my goddamn lesson. It really is. These stakes are really just pure patience. You just have to sit here and wait for cards, and then just bet them. That's it. Bet your thin value. That would have been a we got all our money in hand. We will be raising this. No. Yeah. Yeah, I like this hand. I like that. Nines with a suit and ace king. I like that a lot. I want ISO that. I feel good about this one. It has potential. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I like this hand. Yeah, I like this a lot. I'm feeling real good here. I'm gonna C bet this. And yeah, we're gonna do a little half pot there and see if we get some collar. A collar. We're gonna get a collar. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. We're gonna carry on. We're gonna half pot that as well. See if they call again. We'll even call a raise here. They didn't raise. We hit our straight. We have the nut straight, so we're gonna go ahead and still bet half pot because we want them to call. We want them to raise us, honestly. Be great. They don't have it. I want them to call light. Call light like you've been all night. Nah, that's all right. We'll take it. We'll take it. I think we extracted as much as we could out of that hand. I don't think we could have done any better than that. What do you think, Emily? Are you even still there? Oh no,
I
I
am.
lost.
I'm muting. I'm in and out. This hand sucks.
Yeah, this
Oh, this
hand
hand's
sucks. But
great.
that last hand, no, no, it's terrible. I mean, it's a pair of tens with kings on the board, but I don't feel good about that at all. But like that last hand, like, did you have any thoughts on that?
No, sorry. I didn't
Yeah,
pay
it's all
enough
right. It's
attention on that
okay.
one.
Don't worry about it. It was a good one. I thought I played it well, especially out of position. It's like I did everything I could with it, and it worked out. I got 2 streets of value. So
Well, if
it's
we're
new.
getting back to even, we've got a half hour to keep playing good here.
Yeah,
We got a lot of money to take off this table. There's a lot here. We just need the
it
cards to
is.
hit for
It
us.
is. We just need to hit a hand where they also hit a hand, and that's how it works. And so
Yeah,
that's how
and we
it's
get the
gonna
better
go.
one. That's what we need.
And it that may or may not happen.
Mm,
That's good
mm.
enough on the button. Not if someone raises, I probably will let it go. But like, if it's limp, yeah, I'll bring it in.
Okay.
I'll
Looks
do
like we're
3.
limping.
No, we're not limping. We're betting. We're not
No,
limping.
I mean, like the table is. I meant,
Oh
sorry.
yeah.
Oh, I'm rubbing
So
my
we'll bring that
eyes.
in. We'll bring that in on the button. We're gonna get called by C3. They're not gonna limp fold. That's who we
Ugh.
want. Yeah, it's real bad. And we're gonna bet. We're gonna
But I
check
mean, they
this.
can't have
It's
anything either.
Yeah, they can. They've got peanut butter. They're playing any 4 cards. They limp called. They could have 7-2. Like they could have all sorts of shit. We're gonna let that go.
All right.
That's great for their limping range and bad for our raising range. This is just terrible. Low cards are good for them, they're bad for us. Middle cards are good for them, bad for us.
Ugh. Still can't hit the good cards.
Yeah. They weren't that good. Because they were good enough to bring in on the button, and we didn't hit, and that's just okay. This isn't good enough. Well, yeah, it is. It's the cutoff, and it is. It's double suited. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a bring in here. We'll see one's folding strategically. Just a weird run where they were playing light. Now that seems to be over. I don't understand these players at all. It's mostly the same players too. It's like I don't understand like why their playing style fluctuates. They just got a wild hair. They decided, oh, I'm just gonna go all in with naked queens. It's like I guess. We have nothing, but we're in position. We have nothing. I'm not gonna get fancy and do C betting, and I'm definitely not calling a pot size bet. Yeah. It's crazy. We'll be playing. Like, no one's gonna, I don't think I've seen any hand get taken down pre-flop yet. Even 3 bets. Everyone's, like, we've seen every flop since we've been on this hand, since we've been at this table. That's wild. It's out of position. It's like, it kind of looks good. I definitely would play that in position. Those the middle pseudo rundown with a suited king. I would have played that on the button for sure, and I'd have felt okay with it here. I would be betting this for. Oh no, not now. It's value there. They don't like the diamonds though. Their 2 pair got crushed by their diamonds. That's what
Yeah, I don't
happened
like a
there.
hand where you need the river to win. That
Well, sometimes it's okay. Like it just depends. It depends
yeah.
what it is. But like, yeah, I mean, if you're drawing you shouldn't be drawing those hands. You should be betting those hands. Is the problem. That's the thing. It's okay to be aggressive, but like honestly, not at this table because they're just calling everything.
Okay.
Like, and so we're gonna check this. This not bad actually. That's real good for our range here. It looks better than it is. We do only have a pair of fives, but we got straight draws.
Yeah, we got 4-6, so we need best would be a
A
7.
7 or a 7 or a 2 or an ace. So we have a lot of straight draws, but like you have to take out all the clubs because the clubs kill it. So like we've got 9 outs, which is good. But our hand is killed by a club. Any club kills our hand. And we're out of position. So the question is do I raise this? And I think I do. And I think I'd much rather go heads up because that's a value bet. So they might have clubs, but they probably have a pair. They probably have a pair of eights. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to raise that to 10. I'll raise it to 11.4 here. And I want these two to fold. And I want to go heads up against seat 3 here.
How confident do you feel in your
I feel pretty
straight
good
draw?
about this. I feel real good. I feel real fucking good about it.
Come on, Diamond. Come on, Diamond. Let's go.
No, we don't. We got the straight. We don't want anything. We don't want clubs. They have clubs. They have an 8. They might even have 2 pair, but we have a straight here. We've got a good solid straight. Yeah, we did that exactly right. Hell yeah. Back above board.
There we go.
2 hours for 5 big blinds, baby. We haven't hung on to it yet. We can still punt our whole stack.
Doing the work here. Wow.
For a rockin', yeah. We're looking at a whole solid 25 cents we've made so far for 2 hours worth of work.
Oh.
Pretty fucking good win rate if you're asking me.
Oh, do we know who's Bleeding Heart comment on the Twitch chat? I'm sorry. I missed you jumping in.
I've seen them before. I don't know. I haven't bluffed at all. No, I have bluffed. I just bluffed that last hand. I check raised bluffed. Like I literally just bluffed. It's like what I did. Like oh, by the way, the poker app is called Ignition Casino, ignition.eu. You have to buy in with Bitcoin, which is what you have to do at all poker sites. I play this one. Another really good one is called Coin Poker, if you're interested. And another one that's decent is called America's Card Room. That's acceptable. The players on there are real tricky, actually. We're gonna. No, it's not good enough. Not to erase. Yeah, Bleeding Heart Commie. I'm sorry I haven't been paying attention. Keep trans stickers. So much more check raises. The strongest moving poker. Yeah, it's true. So Bleeding Heart Commie. I remember Bleeding Heart Commie. This person has come in before. They know poker. They know poker. So they're a poker fan. So I don't know where they stumbled onto us from, but like yeah. So yes, I haven't been bluffing a lot, and here's why.
Let her clean the bile out of her.
Excuse me. Let me throw up in my mouth a little bit with those 3 threes. Yeah, here. Of course, I spike an ace. Anyway, I haven't been bluffing because the table has been calling really light. Like the table has just been calling. Like not recently. The table kind of changed, so like I kind of probably couldn't bring bluffs back, but I stopped bluffing because it was just when these players are just playing PBJ. They're playing any 4 cards, and so they can always spike 2 random stupid 2 pair, and they'll call it to the river, and they'll call it to showdown. And so like bluffing has to be really strategic. You have to range them, you have to ISO them, and it's kind of hard to do when you've got everyone limping and calling every hand. So this is a hand that is actually good. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that in, even though we're out of position. That's good enough to bring in under the gun, in my opinion. Probably on the edge. Probably should have folded it, but like I feel okay with it. Didn't work out though. So that's terrible for my range. It's great for the calling ranges. I actually could bet this here because I could be playing like ace 4-5. They don't know now. I'm not gonna. Should I roll with a position bluff here?
Yeah, just check. There's
Yeah, you're right.
no
You're
equity in
right.
there, no need.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, definitely not now.
I mean, if you were going to do it, this is a
I
great
don't
time
know. I'm
to bet
feeling
the
weakness
flush
from these
or
two
the draw.
players. I'm feeling a lot of weakness here, but like I don't think that's a straight, but like I mean I definitely
Yeah,
no,
this late we're
I have
betting
the ace.
2.8. I'm thinking nothing.
Yeah. I mean it's not I do have a flush draw, but it's not a good flush draw and it's a draw and they could easily have a straight or better spades. I don't think they do have better spades, but still there's no point. There's not enough in the pot to like justify that bet. It's a small bet though. Here we go. We're going to be playing this one too, double suited to the king and the 10 on the big blind, so we'll be defending this for sure. This is one to ISO if we can, but like we're not going to be able to. We're not going to be able to blow either of them off this, so I can't ISO, so I have to call and hope I hit my suit, and I did. And we hit a straight. We hit a straight with a flush draw, so that's pretty fucking good. I think this is a check raise situation, honestly. I'm going to check it. Yeah, wonderful. Absolutely a check raise situation. Oh, yeah.
Oh, just
Okay.
pulling in their money.
They're all in. Yeah, they were going to do that anyway. It's what they do. Boop, 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 boop. It's number wang. Our straight was good. I was right. It was a check raise situation. I do believe I played that hand exactly perfect.
Good job. I love it. I think you're playing really tight, and I'm liking watching this.
Yeah,
you're doing good. You're doing good.
It's the only way. It's the only way at these stakes. It's like loose gets me in trouble.
Yeah. Can I confirm we're after this we're taking a half hour and then we're gonna get together and play a game?
That's correct. Yeah, we're gonna so we are gonna wrap well we got 12 minutes left. We're gonna play.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna play to the hour to the top of the hour. But like, yeah.
Just planning my afternoon because I've got to.
Yeah, we are getting together. So Emily and Lilith and I'll let you know. We mentioned it in the previous show being trans that we're not doing it this week, but we're gonna set up the logistics and the moving. We're gonna get all the moving parts sorted so we can do a 4-way stream of Borderlands next week. We're gonna be playing Borderlands 2, Border Trans, as it's going to be called. So we have to sort out, we have to figure out how we can all get in the game on cross-platform and hear each other and also stream. So we got a lot of messy tech work to do today. And so that's what we're doing after this show is we're going to do all that. And then there's a chance if you want to like kind of keep your eye on the channel, there's a chance that if we sort that out pretty quick that we might either play Fortnite or a little Borderlands and stream it too, but we'll see. It's like I'd say it's a coin flip. It just depends whether we can sort it or not. And if that gets up and running and we get everything sorted and it works, then we're going to do that next week. And Adam, or Lilith's husband Adam, who's awesome, will be there too, and he'll be the fourth player in our 4-way, and we're just going to play Borderlands 2 just start to finish. We're going to go just through the whole game every week, and it's going to be awesome. So stick around for that. It's going to be rad.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about that.
Great.
Bring a gaming show back on.
So fun. And Emily hasn't played Borderlands 2. That's the other thing. She doesn't know what she's getting into. It's the best of the Borderlands games by miles.
Why are you saying that though?
Because you said you hadn't.
No, I showed you yesterday that I'm farther along in the game than you are.
Oh, who told me they hadn't? Wait, then why? Who did I have that discussion with that didn't play Borderlands 2? You did show me that. Maybe I dreamed that.
What a dream to have.
It was like, no, it's like I've never played. I was having a conversation where someone distinctly said I've been working my way backwards. I've never played Borderlands 2.
I'm working my way backwards, but the game that I last was on is Borderlands 2. The problem is that I haven't played it.
You've never played through it.
I've never played through it. Yes, I've never played through it.
This is your first
I'm about
playthrough,
halfway
is what I'm
through.
saying.
Yes.
Okay, so no. So you have played it. So I'm not crazy.
No, I see where you got that I haven't played through it. I don't, because we where this germinated was, I said I loved Borderlands 3 and you said 2 is by far the best game in the series.
Yeah,
the reason I don't know that is
question.
because I haven't played through it. So I understand how that lodged in your brain.
It was good.
I thought that for all of the insane power that the bad guy had, after taking Lilith's power and all of that stuff, and that happens early enough in the game that it's not much of a spoiler, but with all the insane power, I thought that the end fight was incredibly easy and weak.
It's the same with Borderlands 2.
Okay.
It's like in my opinion, the Borderlands games aren't meant to be like a hyper challenge. Like they're just meant to be fun, and they do that. Like it's not about like, oh, I need to be like it's not fucking Dark Souls.
Okay. There was one thing, I think it was in 3, and it was a side mission.
We are playing this hand, by the way. I think we're gonna even raise it.
All right, do you need me to stop yapping Borderlands?
We're just gonna call it. Oh yeah, we like that well enough. Bottom 2, we'll play it. Yeah, we'll do a pot size bet here. Get some money in this pot for 2 pair. Thin value. Betting for thin value. Build it up.
Do we have a decent straight draw? No.
No.
Well, if we pull a 7.
We have 2 pair. We have the bottom 2 pair. We do have
2 chances to pull a 7, so.
We have
or a 5.
We have the pot. We have the best hand.
Hey, look, we're back up. We're back up to 140.
We're going to be playing this one, too, from the small blind. We're going to be bringing this one. We're going to be raising this up.
Nice. The lowest we got's an 8. It's dangling, but not too far.
It's a dangling 8. That's not great, but like a suited ace, king, and a jack is good.
Oh, hell.
Oh! So they like their hand. Is this a 3-bet? It's not. I'm going to call. Hope it's going to go multi-way. Shit. I probably should have 3-bet here, but like, I probably actually should have folded. That would have probably been the right thing to do. And we hit.
Nice. We hit that 8.
No,
all right.
We don't love that.
No.
But we're going to call it. If they bet, we're going to call. They've got something. They've got a good high pair. They might have aces. We block aces and kings. They could have queens. They could have set of 10.
We just need a queen and we hit.
Well, they could have a lot of things. We have to call because we do have a pair and we can spike a lot of over things. Okay, everything just got bad for us.
Yep.
Let's see what they do. Yeah, we're out of here. Great hand. Yeah, if they bet large, they pretty much large bets with these players. It just means strong value. It just means thick value. And like, even there, that was probably a bad call, even on the flop.
All right. What do you think of this hand? This one confounds me a little bit. Okay.
I like this hand. I like this hand on the button. On the button, I like this hand. The king isn't suited, but the jacks are there. The jacks are marginal, but with the king. The 6 doesn't. The 6 is dangling, but it's suited to the jack. So this isn't a premium hand, but this is definitely a playable hand on the button. Okay. If we get a raise, we're gonna call it. We're not gonna 3-bet this hand. If it gets 3-bet, we fold it. If there's a bet in front of us, if a bet and then a raise in front of us, then we'll get rid of it. But it looks like we're losing seat 3 here. honestly, this is a marginal hand, and if someone pots before it gets to us, we probably should fold it, but no one did, so we're going to bring it in, and
Okay,
we'll
cool.
bring it in for the pot, and we'll likely get one or two callers here. We get one caller. Seat 2 is going to leave 2, and so we can wait for them to time out. So we're going to go heads up in position with a reasonable hand, so that's good. I'm okay with that. I like that against a stack. So that's good. That's good for us. We're in a spot that I'm comfortable with.
Let's take some money.
We are going to bluff this hand if we don't hit.
Okay.
But we did hit a set.
Okay.
And so we're gonna bet small here, and the reason we're betting small is because that flush,
The clubs.
yeah. So we're gonna go. Well, we're gonna do half pot because that's still small. This is just 3.8 big blinds, and so they called, so they could easily have clubs. But we're gonna bet our thin value here, so we're gonna keep going with another half pot bet. We could easily spike a full house. And they're calling, they're not raising. And now we do have the nut flush blocker. So I'm feeling like we really want to pot here. And it's a thin value bet.
Oh, come on.
I
edge of my
think they
seat.
might have a bad flush. And because we have the king, yeah.
Woot. We take it. All right.
So because we had the king, that blocked the nut flush. And since we were betting, that's called a triple barrel. So we just triple barreled them. And it was a thin value bet. It was actually a bluff. It's right in the middle between a thin value bet and a bluff because we had value with our set of jacks. But that worked out very well. That was the right way. I think we played that well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the results speak for themselves, but we're not results oriented. But that is those. I stand by that. That was good poker. This isn't.
Nope. Well, it's good poker. It's just a bad hand.
Yeah, it's good poker folding that hand is what it is. So we're down to four-handed, which means we can be a little looser, but not really that much looser. It's just a little bit.
I don't know if you saw that Raina said, based
been
on
looking
your
at the chat at
thing
all.
about borderlines, that Amanda, we can't rule out that you're crazy.
We cannot rule out that I'm crazy. I definitely need brain medicine. I'm going to get brain medicine from my doctor. But I'm going to get ADHD meds, which is awesome because I'm going to get focus pills, which is going to make me so much better at poker. It's like I'm going to be like Bradley Cooper in Limitless.
Nice.
I'm going to take my focus pills and sit down and focus on poker, and I'm going to fucking destroy.
So, one of the things I was doing the other day was I was gathering together my DVDs and looking at all my movies, and oh my god,
this is an interesting one here. I'm sorry, we have to talk about this.
We do have to talk about this, yes.
So this looks bad because it's three kings, but it's three kings. So we do have a pair of kings, and it's suited. So we are going to raise it because we get a limp. So we still have a good strong hand here. So we're gonna carry on. We're gonna c-bet, and we're gonna c-bet large because we want to blow away. Because yeah, we want to show strength here. Not too large, but big enough. We have an overpair. I'm still comfortable with this.
Cool. There's nothing else on this board, and they don't have aces, right?
I mean, they could have. They're playing peanut butter and jelly. They could have a random two pair. They just raised us. They could have spiked. They could have queen. They could have ace. They have us beat now. They have us beat.
You think so?
We have. Yeah. They're not gonna check raise this dumb board without having us beat. They have at least two pair. They probably just spiked queen, or they had an eight queen, and they just spiked two pair. Okay. Yeah, we gotta fold it. Because we don't have. It can't go. Our hand can't go anywhere. It can't get any better.
Yeah.
We weren't gonna spike a king, and even if the board paired, would have been okay. But then we're scared of a Full house. So we did everything we could. That might have been a bluff. They might have check raised bluffed us. Like, I mean,
Oh, they left.
it's okay.
I hate it when the money leaves.
It doesn't matter. Like, there's always a game. There's always new players. Like, it's like that matters. Like in a home game. Like if you're
Okay.
playing at a house game with your friends, yeah, this one too. If you're playing at a home game with friends, we're just heads up now, and it's the top of the hour, and
All right.
we're just gonna call it. Yeah, we're gonna
There
be
we
done
go.
here.
It's just ended.
That's it. There it is. It's the top of the hour. We just we closed the table, and
What perfect
that's
timing.
it. Yeah. So I wouldn't say we did. I made a couple punts. I did a couple. Played a little loosey goosey in the middle there, and I punted a bunch of money. But we went up. I think we played decent. I've got a lot to learn. I need to get a lot better. It's like I'm really just frustrated with the super low stakes
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the players. It's just so hard to win at those stakes because it's just like I said, the PBJ. You just have to be so patient.
Mm-hmm.
And like I like the higher stakes. People actually play and they bluff, and like you can put people on ranges, and it's like okay, like, and they don't just show up with random 2-pair and bet pot. Just like, oh. Anyway, maybe I'm just not a good enough poker player. That should probably be easy to win. A professional would have no problem just wiping the floor with those fuckers. But like,
So I don't want to spoil anything because we're pretty far away from it, but I think we can talk about this on
okay.
camera on screen here. I think we should do a wrap up at the end where I come on camera and we've got a 2-up screen where
Yeah,
we
we
talk.
should do that.
Especially considering what we were working on yesterday and what we were talking about doing for next week and actually like doing some practice of that, then we can compare our notes. We can show them on screen. We can talk about that as we're developing that thing. What do you think about that idea?
I think it's a great idea. I just have to sort it out in OBS and make it. I'll do that this week.
Perfect. I think that'd be a great thing to do
And
for
so
next week.
next
Give
week,
people a
yeah, I
little
think
extra
that's a
to
good
look forward
idea
to.
too. Cause like, I mean, I had it set up for this and like, I did a thing but like, yeah, I can easily get that going.
Wonderful.
That's a real easy thing to do. In fact, I can even just do it right now. I can just, yeah, I have it set
Here,
up. I can just,
why
yeah.
don't I I'm gonna mess this screen up, but that's sort of the point. Let's add. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. It's going to take a second, but like here, there we go. We're here.
Yeah.
Like,
My camera's just not gonna come on, huh?
your camera, it was there for a second. You were popped in and
No,
popped out.
it was
So,
never there. It was frozen. It wasn't really there.
well, in any case, then cut your video so you can see me real big and being awesome. Unless we want to just, okay,
Okay,
or
never
just
mind,
there.
y'all.
I don't
Never mind.
care. But anyway, let's talk. Let's talk about what we're doing. So, since I'm doing a thing and I'm trying to practice and get better at ranging other players, and we talked about it, we kind of stopped talking about it and narrating it towards the end there, but I was still doing it, which is like, I not as much as I should. And so basically, like I said, you want to put players in buckets. Based on their actions, you can determine what their range is. And so pre-flop, you're looking at
Change your screen,
there's
hon. Sorry.
change my screen.
Yeah, it's not
Oh
you.
yeah, it's not right. I fucked up. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a fuck up too. But like, here we are. I got it there. I got it there. I'm sorry. Here we go. This is what it's supposed to be. So basically, what was I saying? Oh,
What we're working on.
we're putting people in. We're ranging players. So even when we're not man, we want to look at what each player does, and we want to judge what they have based on what their actions are. And it's a mistake to try and put them on cards. This is especially true for Omaha because you can have only 4 cards, but generally what they have. So, for example, like if someone limps in, we know, like, we can put, based on their pre-flop actions, we can put them into 3 buckets. Their top tier, their premium hands, which is like your aces, your kings, your double suited broadways, double suited aces, double suited kings, like your double suited rundowns, like, so, 10 9 8 7 2 suits, like stuff like that. Those are the kind of hands that are your premium hands. Those are the great hands. Those are the hands that win big. Those are the hands you should be 3 betting. those are the two high pairs, like king aces and kings, or like queens and jacks, or something like that. Aces and jacks. Like those are good hands, especially if they're suited, and
Hmm.
so those are your premium hands there. And then you've got your marginal hands, which are like, your higher cards, like you got a suited ace and some, maybe like a suited ace with, like, jack 10-9. That's a good hand, but it's not like an amazing hand, but it's good, or double suited stuff like that. And then that's your marginal hands, or your mid shelf. And then you got your junk, which is your random 4 cards. You're just your peanut butter and jelly, your garbage. And so when someone limps, you can pretty much take away the top. You can be pretty sure if someone just calls the blind, you can be 100% certain. You can be certain that they do not have ace ace, they do not have king king, they do not have double suited aces, they don't have good rundowns. They've got 4 random cards is what they have, and they feel like playing poker. They feel like seeing a flop. And so what they're going to do is they've got 4 random cards that aren't great, but they look good enough to them, so they're going to come in and they're going to see, and they want to see a flop. So what you can ascertain from someone limping is they don't have premium hands, so they have maybe mid shelf, probably junk and well, like top shelf, mid shelf, well, if you're thinking in bar terms, which I do because I was a bartender, but like, or premium marginal junk. Like, so they don't have premium, they don't have top shelf. They might have mid shelf and well. They probably have well. They probably have junk. But like they could have like a suited something, but like what they just want to see a flop and catch something. They're gambling. They're not playing poker. They're gambling. They might as well be playing slots, is what they're doing. And so, like, that's how these players play. And so you have to play them accordingly. And so the way to beat these players is to just play better cards than them and then bet for thin value when you have it, which is what I was trying to do. We just weren't seeing a lot of good cards. And so it did work when I did have them. And you saw me bet for thin value a couple times. And so, like, that, it worked. It ultimately worked. And, like at any time, you still can lose, but so that's pre-flop. Once you take away cards, you can't give them back to them. So if someone limps and we take away their premium hands, and the flop comes like like 3 hearts and an ace, well, we know they don't have 3 aces, and we know they probably don't have a strong suit. Like, so, like, we can bet around that. We can make those assumptions and bet accordingly. So, which, like I say, that's why we can play with our thin value. So, like, so if we have, like, let's say the flop comes uh ace jack 9, ace jack 5, 3 spades, and we don't have any spades. We've got the king of spades in our hand, but we've got also 2 pair aces and jacks. Or even if we don't have the king of spades, just we have aces and jacks, we can confidently bet that, being that, especially if we have the king and we block the nut flush, we can confidently bet that 2 pair, being like it's probably the best hand, because they have, and if they do have a flush, it's probably not a good flush. So we can, and if they do have a flush, they'll show us that they have the flush because they'll put a lot of money in the pot. So, like, basically you just bet for thin value and you try and extract as much as you can with their garbage hands that they play to the river. So that's basically it. Like, and so, like, after the flop, though, it's different buckets. So you change the bucket from top shelf, mid shelf, well, to your other 4 buckets, were, well, kind of 4 or 5 buckets, 4 really, which is thick value, which is very good hands. Like, it's like they flop the flush, they flop the nut flush, they flop the straight. They have a strong 2 pair, they have sets. Like, that's your thick value, and you can put them on. They can still have that with peanut butter and jelly, but like that is based on how they bet. So, for example, if they donk bet after after check calling, and then the board comes some random stupid thing that doesn't make any sense, and they throw all their money at it, then they probably have a set or two pair, and you can put them on that. And so you can put them on thick value there, but you can also put them on thin value because they're kind of goofballs. And so who knows, they might think, a lot of these players think they have better hands than they do. They'll overvalue something like a pair of kings or a pair of queens. They'll think a pair of queens is still good because it's good in Texas Hold'em, but it's not good in Omaha. And so you can put them on thicker thing value, but you can, if they do that, if they put money in the pot, you can say they don't have junk anymore. So the 4 buckets are after the flop, and it's long-winded, it's confusing, are thick value, thin value, or showdown value is another way to put it. Whereas like if you have a hand that can win at showdown if not a lot of money goes in the pot, thin value, showdown value are same thing. Draws and garbage and junk. And so like they should be folding out their junk if there's a bet, but like you never know. So but if someone donk bets like that, where they bet pot after limping in out of position, then you can be pretty sure they have thick value. Like that's what they have. They're not betting their draws. They're not doing that stuff. So you can take away the other. And so you don't know exactly what they have, but you know they like their hand. Then when the turn comes, it's the same thing. And so if the turn comes a brick and then they check after betting pot, well, then you can take away thick value, and that then they have thin value, and or a draw, and then you can bet according to that. And then when the river comes, like I said, based on their actions again, then you try and put them on a hand, like at the river. It's like okay, like they donked the flop, they checked the brick on the turn, and the river came and it completed the flush, and so then they go all in. Well, you can pretty much put them on a good flush at that point. Like it's like then it's like, okay, I'm gonna get out of here. It's like, and so it's a lot of words, it's a lot of talking, and it's a lot of work. It's hard, but you have to remember what the key to it is, remembering what you took away from them, because you can't give it back to them. Like you can't put them on a hand that they couldn't possibly have if you eliminated that in your early straights. And that's essentially just how you range players, and that's like what the pros do. There's a really good YouTube channel called Crush Live Poker. It's run by this guy named Bart Hansen, and he's he's one of the most well-respected, polite and nice and cool, and just a real nice guy, and a real straight up professional poker player. That's one of the best in the world. Everyone knows him. All the pros know him. He's done everything in poker that you can do in poker. And he runs a blog and a podcast called Crush Life Poker, and it's also a training site. And what he does is he reads hands, and he reviews hands. So if you ever want to learn like how professional pokers think about poker, you can watch Crush Live Poker on YouTube, and you'll watch Bart Hansen. He'll sit there and someone will call in. It's a call-in show, and they'll call in and they'll tell him their hand. They're like, okay, and the first thing he'll ask is like, okay, what's the game? Where are you playing? And they'll say what casino, or I'm at a home game in New York, or I'm at the Parks Casino and like in Philadelphia. It's like, oh yeah, no, I know Parks, I've been there, and he's played at every casino. He knows all the people. He's amazing. And you're like, okay, yeah, okay. So what kind of game is it? Like it's like we're playing 2-5. It's like, is the straddle on? He'll be like, yeah, straddle's on. It's like, is the straddle always on, or is it blah blah blah? Anyway, it goes like that. He just breaks down the hand. He never writes anything down. He just remembers everything. For our benefit, he'll have things on the screen that his team edits and posts. But you watch him just listen to what they say, and he memorizes all of it, and he does all the math like instantly. What's the pot? The pot's this, and he's always like within a marginal amount of error of the pot size. He knows what everyone's had is like, okay, so what do they do here? I think I would do this because this would be a good thing. And then he just breaks down the whole hand and how and what they should do and how he would think about each street based on all the actions. And you can see professional card reading, like, and it's astonishing how accurate he is, like, all the time. And he purposely takes tricky hands, so it's like he doesn't even bother with the obvious stuff. So that was a lot of words. It's a lot of long-winded for something that was supposed to end 15 minutes ago.
At least
But
you're aware of this. That's good.
yeah,
That's good.
so that's Bart Hansen. And so if you just want to get a taste for what I can't do that. I'm not that good. This is mediocre poker. I'm learning. But I'm not Bart Hansen. I'm probably never going to be as good as Bart Hansen, and that's okay. I just want to be good enough to where I can just like beat the worst players and make some money doing this, and like not have to have a real job. That's honestly what I want to do. I don't need to get rich. I'd like to get rich. Getting rich would be nice. But like I just love playing poker, and I'd love to just do it for a living, even if it is just eking out a meager living. In any case, check out Crush Life Poker. Definitely sign up for an account at PLO Mastermind using our link. And then Emily and I are, well, the reason I'm telling you this, I missed the point, is that I need
But
to
at least it took us
practice.
a long time to get here.
I need to practice doing that. And so in order to do that, I need like a workbook, like a notebook that has all the things that I need, where it has the stack size, it has the positions, it has what position they're in, what kind of player type they are. Are they loose passive, loose aggressive? Like, are they a nit? Are they a fish? Like, whatever they are, I can categorize the player type, and then I can write down what happens and what actions everyone takes. So I can review hands, and I can watch hands, and I can pause and stop, and I can sit and think about it. And like, how does this work? And so I need to do that and practice doing that. But in order to do that, I need a worksheet to do that, because I don't want to have to write that down from scratch on a piece of paper every time. It's a lot to write, and it's easy. So Emily and I are designing a book that does exactly that, because I went on to Amazon looking for one of these, and they had like kind of sort of this thing. They do exist, but not in the way that I wanted it to. They're more for like people that already do this, and they want to go to the casino and they want to keep track of their hands and write them down so they can review them later. That they aren't doing what I'm doing, which is actually just reviewing the hands like in real time, and like trying to write it down and learn. And so they didn't have all the things that I wanted in them, and like they started at like $20 a pop, and I was just like, I don't need to spend $20 on like a book that just has all the same, just a workbook. Like it seemed overpriced to me. It seemed overpriced,
But what was
especially
it? All
for
the
a
things that you
thing.
needed?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't even all the things that I needed.
Oh well, there you
So
go.
it was like,
Okay,
that's why
yeah,
I was like, well, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna just make my own, and I'll do
perfect.
it with Emily, who's a
There
graphic
we go.
designer, and we'll
Good.
make it. And so we're gonna do that. Emily and I are working on that. I don't know when it's gonna be ready, but when it is ready, we'll talk about it and we'll put it out, and it'll be we'll put a link to it in the description box. So like everything, it'll be at the Transverse store, and we'll put it on Amazon and all that stuff. And we should put our clothes on Amazon too, by the way. I don't know if you, I know we're on Etsy, but we can put them on Amazon too. Something to think
Yeah, I
about.
forget what it takes to be an Amazon seller, but yeah, we can look into that. Definitely
Why not?
be a
Yeah,
good
why
idea.
not? Right? Like we'll take every kind of money, right? So that's about that. It's 18 minutes overdue. Uh, we gotta get Emily and I gotta get to work in 12 minutes, and I haven't had any lunch yet. So like, there we go.
Oh,
All
you
right,
never had your
so
lunch in the hour
yeah,
break,
I
and
wasn't
I need
hungry
to
and
go
I'm
take a
fat,
shower.
so it's like, oh, you don't need a shower to fucking get on the fucking Zoom with me and Lilith.
We
All
have
right,
$3 in the Amanda's Workbook Support Fund already, so there we
I
go. Like
love
we're
it.
already building it up.
Thank you, Raina. Yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful thing. We love that. And so yeah, thanks everyone for showing up. And keep your eye on the channel to see if we jump in. It'll be at least 2 hours, or it'll be at least an hour and a half, 2 hours before we do, if we do end up streaming a video game tonight. But like, we may or may not. I don't know. It just depends. So you kind of keep your eye on the channel and pop back in and look and just see. And if we're there, come join us. And if not, we'll see you next week. All right. Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, wait. I did it wrong. I'm supposed to go here. Which one is it? There it is. Okay, bye, bye, bye.